Hey you guys, Wendy Emerson here. I am trying different angles in my kitchen, and so today I am making, today is National Alfredo Day, so I am going to be making a chicken Alfredo lasagna, only I'm using zucchini noodles instead of pasta. So I want to kind of just show you what I'm doing, and you're going to see a lot of the same feature tools that I like to use all the time because I love my tools, right? So let me just turn this down a little bit. So I am using my Simple Slicer on the 1 setting because you can change the thickness. See how that slides? You can change the thickness of the noodles. And so I cut the ends off my zucchini. And by the way, do not throw these away. Let me teach you a trick. When you are working with fresh vegetables, start a gallon-sized Ziploc bag in your freezer and save all of the heels and butts from your vegetables. And when the bag is full, boil it down and you've got vegetable stock from scratch. So I save those, and I save the leftover pieces from the zucchini. And I, carrots, onions, peppers, any vegetables that are non-starchy you can save. So cut my ends off, okay? And I've got my Simple Slicer. Now, when you're working with smaller foods, it does come with a food holder, but I'm not going to use that today. And it's lightweight, so I can hold it up with one hand and kind of slice with the other. So let me just tilt this down just a little bit more. Okay, so I'm just going to run my hand back and forth, and as the side of the zucchini gets flat, my noodles get bigger. And I'll show you what these look like here in just a second. So it literally is no effort to do this. You just have to be careful as you get further down on the mandolin that you don't cut your hand. So I just did that whole zucchini. And so what I'm doing with these, like if you ever work with eggplant, and you make eggplant parmesan from scratch, one of the things you need to do, because of the moisture in the eggplant, is you kind of set it out and you salt it and you let it sit. And so that's what I'm doing on the half sheet pan with my zucchini lasagna noodles, because in doing that, what it's going to do, and I don't know if you can see, but some of these are already starting to sweat. What that's going to do is it's going to release some of the moisture in my zucchini noodles so that when it's cooking in the oven, I don't end up with a big pile of like watery goop in the bottom of my lasagna. So it's going to act more like a noodle and less like a zucchini. And so I'm doing this in layers. And it doesn't have to sit forever. I'm just doing this before I make my sauce. And it's just going to kind of sit. Say you would do the same thing with eggplant. So when I make eggplant parm, I do the exact same thing. I kind of lay it out. I salt it. I set it aside. And then I move on to some other part of the prep process. So I think that's enough noodles for us. All right, let me just salt these a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna set these aside, and while that is going, my chicken right now, I want to show you, this is one of our new pans that'll be available March 1st. We've actually come out with non-stick stainless steel cookware. It's sort of like a hybrid cookware. So it's a stainless pan with a lifetime guarantee, just like all of our other cookware. But there's a couple features I want you to see. So it's got this mesh non-stick coating in it that's absolutely amazing. Notice there's no rivets on the inside of the pan. So who do we have here? Hey, Lisa Marie. So there's no rivets on the inside of the pan, so you'll never get food buildup. You'll never get rust or anything like that, like other style pans. A couple things I want you to note about this stainless steel pan is you can use vital utensils in this, and you can throw this in a dishwasher. So this is the 10-inch. My chicken right now is searing in the 12-inch, and I just want to kind of show you how beautiful it is. So I put this in my skillet with no oil of any kind. I just want you guys to see that chicken is just kind of sliding around, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so that just has a couple minutes left. So I need to start my sauce. So I am going to, and now I've never done this recipe before, so I'm following directions. So I got my handy dandy little tablet stand here for my recipe because I'm a Pinterest junkie. So So let me just pull up my recipe on Pinterest. Can you guys hear that chicken sizzling? Oh my gosh. Okay. So this is another one of our new products. Okay, this is our 2.5 quart saucepan. And you notice there's no handle on here. This is part of our nonstick collection. And what I love about these nonstick pans is they have removable handles so that they can go in the dishwasher, they can go in the oven. And just like the new stainless pieces, these you can use metal utensils, they can go in the dishwasher. And Lisa, these will be available on March 1st, okay? So you have 4 bookings off your party, so that means you'll be able to get these at half price through the future parties. So that's pretty exciting. Okay, so let me see if I can adjust here. See if I can, this is kind of a weird angle, so I'm testing. Okay, so we've got our little saucepan, my chicken's cooking, and let's see what our directions say here. So we need to melt, and I'm doubling the recipe because we like sauce in my house. So I need to melt 2 tablespoons of butter. And I apologize, I did not have this pre-prepped because my son was supposed to have a cross-country race or a Nordic ski race, and and then we were going to go to youth group, and all of our after-school activities were canceled, so so I had to scramble and figure out dinner. So we're going to melt. I'm going to put this on medium heat. Now with these pans, the way they're designed, lower heat, err on the side of lower heat, because they're such solid pans, your stuff might tend to burn quicker, so you just want to make sure that you don't overcook it. So start on like medium to low heat. My chicken is almost done. All right, so we're doing 2 tablespoons of butter, and I am using salted butter. Okay, happy National Alfredo Day. I hope you guys are having something Alfredo. Okay, so while that butter is melting, now this recipe calls for a lot of garlic, and my husband is garlic sensitive, so I adapt my garlic recipes, and I use, let's see, I'm going to use one of my Pampered Chef seasonings. I'm going to use my crushed peppercorn and garlic rub instead of using fresh garlic cloves, because it just gets to be too much for him. He can't really handle it. So we're going to do a couple tablespoons of that. And then I need 3 cups of heavy cream. And so while that's melting, then I'm going to add the garlic. Now it says to saute the garlic until fragrant, but because I'm using powder, I'm just going to kind of let it cook a little bit until I add the rest of the ingredients. Let me grab my heavy cream. And I am going to use my small batter bowl, because it's going to call for 3 cups of heavy cream, and this batter bowl will hold 4 cups. So I don't need to like pour and measure twice. All right, let me pull my chicken off. Just bear with me 1 second here. Let me pull my chicken off. You guys, that chicken is absolutely gorgeous, and it just came right out of the pan. Now this pan will literally just wipe clean. It's pretty phenomenal. All right, so we're just gonna let that chicken cool for a minute, because we're gonna have to shred that here in a little bit. Okay, so my butter is just about melted, so I'm gonna add, can you guys see me okay? Yeah, I'm gonna add a heaping tablespoon of this seasoning, and then I like to do things to taste. So, I mean, I'm kind of some recipes like that one I made the other day with the Brussels sprouts, I followed it to a T because I wanted my seasoning to taste like ranch. This one I'm less worried about, so I'm gonna kind of eyeball it. Now, this pan, I want you guys to witness me doing this, if I can find my whisk. Okay. These pans are nonstick pans. You can use metal. So I'm stirring up my butter and my seasoning, and I am using a metal whisk. And These are coated 4 times with our nonstick, our new nonstick coating, so you can use metal utensils. So I just want you guys to know that. This is gonna keep going to sleep on me. All right, and I apologize, I totally am winging this. Like I figured out what we were having, and then that was it. I went to the store. Okay, so 3 cups. And I love these because you don't have to get down on the side and look at it. The measuring lines are right on the side of the cup. So I'm just pouring my 3 cups. This is heavy cream. Nothing special about this. And we're gonna just add that to our butter. This already smells amazing. So this is gonna be the sauce that we're gonna use in our lasagna. Okay, so the directions say, I'm gonna just kind of bring this to a gentle simmer. And let me just give that a little whisk here, a little stir. Little stir. Okay. And while that is happening, 5 minutes until it thickens. So we've got the heavy cream, we've got the butter, we've got the garlic. So the only other ingredient that's gonna go in here is real Parmesan cheese. And so that is gonna be, we're gonna do a cup of Parmesan cheese. So I don't like to buy shredded cheese at the store. My tools make it super easy for shredding, and so I buy my cheese in blocks because I don't know if you know this, but they actually put wood pulp in packaged shredded cheese, and I prefer not to eat wood pulp in my cheese. I don't know about you guys. So we're just gonna use the microplane. This is the coarse grater, okay? And there's a fine one too, and so we're gonna use this. And I'm gonna need a cup, okay? So I'm just gonna grate the heck out of this until I have a cup of Parmesan cheese. Now I like cheesy, and I'm gonna want a little bit of extra for the top. So I may just do the whole block, but this is super easy to work with. And then once it gets down to the point where it's too small and you're worried about cutting your hands because this grater is very sharp. I have taken skin off, I'm just saying. Then what you can do, now look at how easy that's grating up. Then what you can do is it comes with a food holder. So I am actually going to, and I am gonna do this whole thing. I don't typically do the hard brown stuff at the top because it doesn't grate very well. So we're just gonna set that aside. And then if I cut this in half, can you guys see me okay? Okay, if I cut this in half, this slides on here, and then I can set both of these halves in here. Let's go this way. Now let's go this way. Okay, those go in. The meat holder, or the food holder gets poked, and then now I just have to slide and kind of apply pressure to this guy while I'm grating, and it does the work for me. Okay, so that should be enough for our sauce. So we're letting this simmer. Turn the heat up on this just a little bit. Okay, so while that is simmering, what I'm gonna do, we need to shred our chicken because this lasagna calls for shredded chicken. And so, I'm gonna show you guys my salad choppers. So these are the salad choppers. They're used for like coarse chopping lettuce and things like that, but I'm actually gonna use it to shred my chicken. It's got a double blade, and it's got a guard on this side so you won't get your fingers caught in the blade. So, and when I'm doing the chicken, I kind of hold it this way, and you can just cut right through your chicken and make smaller pieces. Now this is great like if you're doing quick fajitas and you want to just make little slices with your chicken, but it's also easier for shredding than using 2 forks like if you're making buffalo chicken dip, which is a favorite in my house. Every once in a while you get a little piece that's stuck in the blade. Boy, this chicken is so fragrant. I put a little bit of Italian seasoning on the chicken itself, just to kick it up kind of a notch. Okay, so look at how easy that is to kind of shred my chicken so that when I'm spreading it on my lasagna layers, I'm gonna have nice, small, spreadable bits of chicken. Our sauce is coming together nicely. Let me just flip this. see what I got going in the bottom here. But this recipe actually comes together pretty easily. So it's going to go in the oven, and it is going to bake for about 45 minutes. So this is not a quick 30-minute meal, because you sort of want the zucchini noodles to bake down, and you want the sauce to kind of absorb right into those noodles. You guys see that okay? So this just smells phenomenal. Okay, so we've got our chicken. So that, instead of working with 2 forks and doing 1 breast at a time, I just shredded 4 breasts of chicken in, what was that, 45 seconds? So I think we're good. I think we kind of got it all. If not, I can always come back later and do a little bit more. Okay, now this cut, actually I think I need a little bit more cheese. And this little piece is getting hung up on me. Hold on. Hold on. Let's do this. I just need a little bit more cheese here. Get this out of the way. Get this out of the way. There we go. All right, so we gotta make our sauce. We gotta do finish up our sauce, and then I can start layering my lasagna. Okay, so does that look like probably a little bit more than a cup? Let me just make sure I follow the directions so that we don't screw this up, because I've been known to screw things up. I am not a perfect chef. I'm a pampered chef. Okay, so we're going to reduce the heat to low, which I'm doing now. And then I'm just going to kind of gradually add, let me just tilt you up here. Oh, sorry about the hand. I'm just going to gradually add this cheese in until it gets kind of thick. And I'm just going to keep stirring it. And this is going to make our beautiful Alfredo sauce. And now I'm actually thinking I want to add some crushed red pepper, and I'm turning the heat way, way down. Man, it's so nice to be able to use a metal whisk in this pan. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of crushed red pepper to give that a little bit more of a flavor. And I'm feeling like I probably need a little bit more garlic. So I am gonna add, of course we'll have to taste it. I'm gonna taste it and see how it tastes. Just add a little bit more cheese. We do not lack for cheese in this house. We eat a ton of cheese. All right, let's just see how this tastes, because I feel like I may need to add some more garlic to it. You know what? That's really good. I'm going to add just a skosh, but that is actually really, really, really good. Like, really good. All it is heavy cream, Parmesan cheese, butter, and then I used crushed peppercorn and garlic. This is really, really flavorful. I'm very happy with the way this turned out. Okay, so now, we're just gonna kind of let that simmer and thicken a little bit. And while that's doing that, I'm gonna get my pan ready, because now it's time to start layering the lasagna. All right, yes, I'm a dork. Okay, so we're gonna save this piece of zucchini. This is gonna go in the freezer. Uh-oh, I may have to make vegetable stock because my bag is full. So maybe we'll have to do a live this weekend with homemade vegetable soup. Okay. Throw that back in the freezer. All right, so let's move our little cutting mat out of the way. Got some extra cheese we're gonna grate on the top. Okay. I am going to use, do I want to use this or do I want to use a bigger pan? I think I'm going to use a bigger pan, so hold on. Let me switch pans. Give me a second. Okay, I actually think I have enough zucchini. I'm going to use my Contemporary Classics rectangular baker. It's nice and deep. See how deep that is? So I'm going to use this instead. I was going to use my deep covered baker, but my family's going to love this, and so it's like, go big or go home. Okay, let me grab my noodles. So I've got so these have all been sweating. Can you guys see that? So we salted them. If you missed that part, I sliced them with my mandoline, and then we salted them. And so as I start to use these, oh, this is starting to thicken up. Okay, I know I'm a dork. As I start to use these, I'm gonna kind of wipe that. I'm releasing, I'm running my fingers, this is what I'm doing with the noodle. I'm running my fingers across it over the pan I salted it on and getting that moisture off. Now I am not putting sauce in the bottom of the pan because when you're working with zucchini, and I want you guys to kind of see what I'm doing here. Okay, so I'm just gonna show you this one over the pan. But do you see how much liquid just came off of that? So that's why we want to salt our noodles. So I'm just going to kind of run these. You could blot them with a paper towel. I don't like to do that because then I feel like it kind of wipes away the salt. So the salt that you used is going to give them a little bit of extra flavor. And there's a ton of liquid coming off of these. I do have 2 more zucchinis that I didn't slice yet because I wasn't exactly sure how much I was going to need, and I have a feeling I'm going to need a couple more layers. But let's just set this up. I'll do a couple layers for you, show you how it's going to come together, and then when it comes out of the oven, I will show you guys. So this is a keto-friendly, low-carb recipe. And obviously they don't have to be perfect because it's all going to be layered. And it's all just going to come together like nice yum yum, right? So we're going to do this. So we've got our first layer. Let me just give this a little stir, stir, stir with my metal utensil. And, okay. So now I am going to use this guy. If I can get it out. Okay. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to sprinkle some sauce. And it doesn't have to be a ton because it's really going to kind of bake into the chicken. And I'm not adding additional cheese beyond the sauce because what I'm going to do is I'm going to top it when I'm all done. I'm going to top it with mozzarella and some more fresh Parmesan. Now these are nice big chunks of chicken. And it's not like regular lasagna where you need to have ricotta. Now I could add that. I do have some in the fridge. Maybe that would be good. What do you think? Should I add some ricotta cheese? What do we got here? Even though it's usually just... Oh, that it's me. I always go big. I always make enough food for like an army, and it's ridiculous. I don't know how to cook in small portions, and it's just me, my husband, and my 2 boys. Though my 2 boys are teenagers and they're growing, I think I am going to add a little bit of ricotta to this. I think it's going to elevate it a little bit. So hang on. Let's do that. Let us do that. Because I have this. Because I made roll-ups the other day. Maybe you saw those. I made those, I made lasagna roll-ups the other day. So I'm just going to put a couple dollops of, I don't know, well, I'm not Italian. Some people say ricotta, some people say ricotta. I'm from Rochester, New York. I say ricotta. How do you say it? I don't know. I don't know what the proper, all I know is I like it. It tastes good. It's cheesy. It's creamy. And it's going to make our lasagna taste amazing. So, you call it what you call it. I'll call it what I call it. And we'll just call it a day. How about that? So, the cookware that I showed you, that will be available March 1st. So if that's something that you're interested in, now I'm going to go ahead and start my next layer while we're talking here, okay? And when I do my lasagna, I start at one end and layer that way, and then I go back the other way so that my noodles have like, there's some, like there's always overlap. I don't know what I'm trying to articulate, but, and these aren't going to be nice, smooth, flat layers like your regular lasagna because you've got that chunky chicken. If you shred your chicken smaller, you can have nice flat layers, but I actually like knowing that I'm eating real bona fide chicken because I'm getting big pieces of chicken in my mouth. And remember, we're kind of wiping away the moisture that's on the lasagna noodles, the zucchini noodles that we salted, and that salt makes them sweat, and when they sweat, we release a lot of that extra moisture so that we don't have a really watery lasagna in the bottom of the pan. So I don't know if you guys knew that, and you should be doing that with eggplant too. I cook a lot of eggplant parm, and that's just a trick that I've learned over the years. And like I said, I don't have an Italian bone in my body, but man, for some reason, I actually love to cook Italian. So, and this is coming together quite nicely. I think my family's gonna love this. And my son, who is 11, in the past would just turn his nose up and run screaming from the room anytime he heard the word zucchini. And now he's like super excited that we're having this for dinner. Because, of course, I don't eat a lot of pasta anymore. I'm doing keto, sort of a variation of keto, my own variation of keto, and which is low carb, high fat. So let me just slide this over. So we're gonna layer here with another batch of sauce. And part of the reason we want it to cook for so long is because this sauce will thicken up in the oven as well. So it's gonna seem more like a creamier, thicker Alfredo. And it's gonna get all soaked into the chicken, and it's gonna be just amazing. Okay, so now we're ready to add another layer of chicken. How's this looking so far? This looks pretty good to me. I don't know, I'm pretty hungry. So if you're just joining us, I'm actually making a lasagna, but I'm making a chicken Alfredo lasagna, and I'm using zucchini as my noodles. We made the sauce from scratch. The sauce is simply melted butter, heavy cream, fresh Parmesan cheese that we shredded, and I'm using, instead of garlic, I've got the crushed peppercorn Pampered Chef garlic seasoning. And then I've got some chicken that I cooked in the skillet with a little bit of Italian seasoning on it. Like I think I use, or maybe it's French seasoning. It's like herb de Provence or something like that. And we're gonna layer this up. This is gonna go in the oven for about 45 minutes. We want it to brown on the top. It's gonna go in on 375. And then for the last 15 minutes, we're gonna cover it. Okay, so, and I'm also, the recipe does not call for ricotta cheese, but I'm adding that to kind of kick it up a notch and give it another layer of cheesiness. So, I don't know what you guys think. How else do you use your zucchini noodles? Leave me a comment, because I love to do like low carb alternatives. Like I do a lot with cauliflower. I make a lot of cauliflower rice. I like to make cauliflower mash instead of like mashed potatoes. I'll do like a zucchini or cauliflower pizza crust. Maybe I should try that with the zucchini. I wonder if that would work. Or zucchini fritters. I've never done that. That's on my list, you know, instead of like potato pancakes. But I really have enjoyed mastering the art form of low carb cooking. And anytime I've been on a diet, my family has been like, don't subject us to the way that you choose to eat. Now remember, I went this way, so now I'm going to come back this way. You know, my husband will always be like, I don't want to eat your diet food. Don't make me eat your diet food. Don't make me eat your low fat, because he's like 6'2" and super thin, super good shape. And so he has like, his legs are like hollow. He could eat a pound of chocolate and he doesn't gain an ounce. I look at a candy bar and I gain 5 pounds. Seriously. So, so he has always said to me, don't make me eat your diet food. But since I have sort of mastered this whole art form of low carb alternatives, my whole family has really been embracing it. They've really been enjoying it. Now, I don't make them eat low carb all the time. When I make my husband pizza, when we make pizza, I make myself a cauliflower crust, and I make him, I use the Pampered Chef 5-minute dough recipe, which if you have not tried it, it's so good. It's made with Greek yogurt, and we add some rosemary seasoning to ours, and it really is just phenomenal pizza dough that comes together literally in 5 minutes. So I'm glad I switched to a bigger pan because this is turning out to be a big lasagna. So I'm going to have a very happy family. And yes, I know I'm talking to myself, but if you're watching me in replay mode, you can just kind of laugh at me. So this Contemporary Classics stoneware baker is one of my favorites. So it's basically the same size as our rectangular baker, but it's deeper. We do have a couple options. So this would be considered almost the same size as like a 9x13. The dimensions are a little bit off, but it'll hold any of those recipes that you could do in a 9x13 pan. And then we also have an unglazed 9x13, and then we have, of course, our 9x13 that has the gray stone glaze on the outside. And this is our homemade Alfredo sauce. Again, that's heavy cream, butter, fresh Parmesan cheese, and what was the last thing? Crushed peppercorn and garlic seasoning. And I think I can get one more layer out of this. I'm pretty excited. Although I'm hoping I have enough. I may have to do one more zucchini. Maybe I can get away with just kind of partially layering the top. We'll see. Not a perfect chef. I'm a Pampered Chef. I love, love, love my Pampered Chef job. I just love the fact that over the last 3 years that I've been doing this, I've really embraced making real food, you know, like kind of eliminating processed food from our household. And that's not to say in a busy day I don't open a box of mac and cheese. It's been known to happen. But I certainly do it far less than I ever did before. And I truly value the time that my family and I sit around the dinner table together. I just think that that's so super important. So this is going to be so good. All right. So that was about 1.5 pounds of chicken. And this is going to feed 4 of us with plenty of leftovers. So I'm going to add my dollops of ricotta. I'll have to look up the phonetic pronunciation of this because I've heard it pronounced 8 different ways from Tuesday. Tomato, tomato, potato, potato, ricotta. It's like mascarpone. You know, how do you say that stuff? I don't know. It's cheese. Let's just call it cheese. Why can't we all just call it cheese? Why do we have to like put labels on it? Like call it something special. Let's just call it cheese. It's just cheese. Yes, I'm in a weird mood. So I'm kind of happy that I don't have to go out again tonight though. Wednesdays I normally serve at youth group at my church. And I so love doing that. But every once in a while you just want a night off, you know? So, okay, so that's good for that. And so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to make do with what noodles I have left. And I don't think it's going to cover the whole thing, but we're going to just kind of go down the middle here. Unless you think I should do another zucchini. But I think we can kind of make do with this and make it look beautiful. And it's going to be great. And if you guys want to come over, dinner's going to be in about an hour. You can private message me for my address. Just kidding, because I'm not going to give it to you. If you are a customer of mine, then you probably already have it. This looks so good. I normally, when I work with zucchini noodles, I like to do roll-ups. But I'm digging this whole layered lasagna. I'm going to double up that one right there. And I'm going to double up this one right here because it's got a crack in it. And now we get to the top. Now this is all going to be covered with cheese, so it's not really going to need to look perfect because the cheese is going to look perfect. And I want you guys to see this when I'm done with this. So I remember I salted my noodles. I want you guys to see, look at how much liquid, can you guys see that? Look at how much liquid came off of that zucchini. So if I hadn't salted my zucchini, that would have ended up in the bottom of my lasagna pan, and that would have made for a soggy lasagna. So that's why I salt my noodles. All right, so now we gotta top it off. Now I'm gonna do a couple things, okay? I'm actually going to add, oh, look at that. I actually have mascarpone cheese in my fridge. I told you, we are a cheese household. Okay. So I'm going to add some mozzarella, and I'm going to add some more Parmesan to the top. And then we're going to sprinkle some black pepper, and I'm not going to do a lot of mozzarella. I'm just going to kind of do, I don't know, like 4 ounces or something. All right, so I'm going to get my grater. And instead of being complicated, I'm just going to kind of grate it right over the top so that I don't have to move it. So this is whole milk mozzarella, which I did not layer. It's not in the sauce. And I'm going to keep this extra sauce so that people can put some on if they want more sauce, which inevitably is usually my husband who likes more sauce. So again, this is going to go in, oh, I should probably start the oven. 375, and it's going to go in for 45 minutes uncovered, and then the last 15 minutes, if it's too brown, I'm going to cover it up. And this is where you need to be careful with not having the food holders, because I have taken parts of my thumb off. That's what the food holders are for. Okay, so we got the mozzarella, so let me just spread this around a little bit. So much easier than trying to do it on the cutting board and then move it. Okay, and then I've got the rest of my block of Parmesan. So I'm gonna just shred that over the top. And hopefully my family is really gonna like this. If they don't, more for me, because I know I'm gonna love it. Happy National Alfredo Day. So this wasn't too bad, was it? I mean, if you have the right tools, really all you need is a cheese grater and a mandoline. You need to be able to cut perfectly thin slices of your zucchini. Like, those are the basics. You need a good cheese grater because you really don't want to work with store-bought cheese, and the mandoline. So if you don't have a simple slicer, let me know. It's under 35 bucks. I would love to help you get that. You can host a party and get it for free, as Lisa Marie did, who's on the video right now. She is like a rock star host. She is a rock star host. She is going to have one massive shopping spree. Her party's going on right now. Okay, so now I just want to add some little bit of pepper to the top. And I like my things to look kind of like herbaceous, like they have some herbs. So I'm just going to kind of, let's see here. I'm winging it. All right, no, I don't want that one. I am winging it. Okay, so this is what I used on the chicken. It's herb de Provence, and it has in it, oh, let's see, thyme, basil, fennel seed, rosemary, tarragon, marjoram, and lavender. And it's gluten-free. And that's what I sauteed the chicken in. So I'm just going to add a little, sprinkle a little bit on the top. This smells and looks amazing. I don't know, what do you guys think? Does that look good? So this is going to go in the oven, like I said, 45 minutes, uncovered. I'm going to check it at 45. If it's too brown, I'm going to put foil on it for another 15 on 375. And when this comes out, I will show it to you guys. So here is what it's going to look like going in the oven. And this is zucchini chicken Alfredo lasagna. So stay tuned for the finished product. and a review of the flavor of the recipe. Thanks for tuning in. If you are interested in any of the tools that I've used here, you can visit my website at pamperedchef.biz/Wendy Emerson. And if you have questions, if you want to book a party, just leave a comment. I would love to chat with you about it. Can't wait to see this come out of the oven. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.